What is happening, everyone? I am the YuGiOh Scrub, but you all can call me Bailey if you're subscribed. Over 800 of you are now. Thank you so much. My goal is 1,000 by the end of 2025, and maybe the new microphone is going to be the thing that makes you subscribe. That is correct. I didn't get a new mic. It's actually my webcam mic, which should be worse than my Blue Yeti. But the Blue Yeti, you guys have heard, it's clearly not working well. I kept hoping it would just work, but today we're trying something out. So let me know in the comments below. Do I need to turn it up, down? Let me know. Today we are playing with a suggestion from a viewer of Shawshank Stank 7765. He wanted a deck with Cyber-Man Last Will. He played 3 Blue Eyes, 3 Cyber-Man, 3 Last Will, Trunade, Cyber-Stein. I changed a little bit. I'm playing 3 Cyber-Man, 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, and 3 Last Will, but no Trunades. But the Cyber-Stein's only at 2. The idea basically is you're getting a Blue Eyes White Dragon out, helping trigger Last Will by tributing the Cyber-Man, bringing out Cyber-Stein, and special summoning a King Dragoon, and that gives you a 3,000 beater that is untargetable along with the King Dragoon. Decree helps block any potential traps like Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute. And that could get rid of the King Dragoon. That's basically the concept of this deck. Other than that, standard warrior stuff because we're running the Rhodas to get Cybermans, but we have Exiled and DD Warrior Lady, a BLS because we have some Darks, we have Mataza the Zapper because it's another card we can get via the Last Will. Honestly, I'm looking at it. There might be room for a Don Zalugan here. Do I want to put a Zalugan? Not right now. We're going to save the deck and go join the GOAT format ladder. Click this button. Hopefully it is all okay. Did I show? Yeah, if I didn't show it, there you go. I'm pretty sure I clicked it. I've done this intro a few times already. Let's click this button for your viewing pleasure. And win the rock, paper, scissors for the first time in a long time by picking paper. Let's wish my opponent some good luck and fun and hope that you're having a fantastic day. If you're not having a fantastic day, go and make it a fantastic day, and then you can return to this video. Okay, opening hand. DD, Warrior Lady, Blackluster Soldier, Scapegoat, Sangan, Exiled Force, Decree. Let's go ahead and I think we'll summon Sangan, set Decree. Scapegoat was the other option, obviously, but I don't think the tokens are going to do too much right now without a Metamorphosis. My opponent sets a monster and then Thunder Dragons. Doesn't change too much, but I obviously know he's now used his normal summon. And he just ends his turn. We draw Cyber-Man. Could be a Dekoichi, but it could also be a Sangan of his own. If it's Sangan, DD Warrior Lady is better. If it's a flip, Exiled Force is better. I think I'm more likely to see a Spy or Dekoichi. So let's pop this. It was a Dekoichi. I'm glad I had that read. We'll attack for 1,000 and end our turn. Summon Tsukiyomi, sets my Sangan, Nobleman of Crossouts the Sangan, and we'll take 1,100 from the Tsukiyomi direct attack. But he has no back row, so we now just go straight to our main phase and draw Fusilier, probably going to summon the DD Warrior Lady, and just swing for some damage. Unfortunately, we don't have a Dark and Grave for the BLS anymore. Summons Breaker. Pops our Royal Decree. And we will banish the Breaker with the DD Warrior Lady effect. Sets a back row and ends his turn. We draw Snatch Steel. We will summon Fusilier. 1,400, 1,000, and attack directly for the 14. Setting Scapegoat and ending our turn. I don't actually know how. I'm gonna just go and not say it. He knows how it works. I don't know if Fusilier would actually forget that it was normal summons. Like how? Let me know in the comments how that would work. Do I actually keep the Fusilier? Would it go to 2,000? Because it's getting flipped face down and then forgetting that it was normal summoned without tribute? I don't think so, but, you know, who knows. I think we'll just end our turn. We have Scapegoats for protection. We drew Heavy Storm. Snatch Steel in hand. And potentially, if we can get a light into the graveyard via maybe a draw of Blue Eyes White Dragon, then we could potentially summon Kaiba-Man, put the Blue Eyes on the board, and then special summon BLS. We will special summon 3 tokens, special summon 4, but one gets run over by the Chaos Orc, or he banishes it in main phase 2. Summon Tsukiyomi, flipping the Chaos Sorcerer face down, playing into the Nobleman that we just drew, but playing around the Snatch Steel that we also had in hand. We'll go ahead and banish the Chaos Orc. He's got a light, no dark, and grave. We'll end our turn. If we draw something like Last Will, if we draw Blue Eyes, the Kaiba-Man's going to do more in our hand than it would being put onto the field. We draw a Royal Decree. Do I set the Heavy Storm or do I set the... I think I'll set the Decree. Decree and Heavy Storm do pretty similar things. He flips to Koichi, draws a card, goes to battle, runs over a token. The beautiful Blue Goat tokens. Blue Goat is the best goat, in case you were wondering. And he sets a couple more back row. We'll flip Decree. We draw Premature Burial. We can get Fusilier Dragon. I think we're going to do that. We'll go for a bigger push. And special summon Fusilier. And hit him for 1,400, beating over to Koichi. He does have a light and dark engrave now. That could be Sinister Serpent face down. Could also be a flip of some sort. Pot of Greed. Flips Magician of Faith, getting back Graceful Charity. Graceful Charities. Drawing 3. I mean, we're winning life point wise. Just not card advantage wise. But we have a chance. Opponent banishes a light and a dark. Special summons the BLS. You could attack and get rid of my entire board. Or he can banish the Fusilier and keep me off a dark. Summons a Gravekeeper's Spy. And Snatch steals the Fusilier. I think that should be game. Yeah, 3,000, 28, 12. Yep, admit defeat. Okay. I think I like the deck. What could we bring in? I mean, Ring of Destruction, Mirror Force, Torrential are just good cards. What could he be bringing in against us? He didn't see Kaiba-Man Blue Eyes. All he saw was Fusilier, Scapegoat, some warrior stuff with DD Warrior Lady and Exiled. nobleman, so it's been pretty standard that he saw. I'm going to keep the ratios the same. And we'll go first. Apologies for having to check my phone. Sometimes you just gotta check it, you know? Make sure things are going alright. Opening hand is okay. Scapegoat, Scapegoat, Rhoda, Pot of Greed, Fusilier, Last Will. We'll Pot of Greed. Drawing Nobleman, MST. Setting a Scapegoat, and ending our turn. Upstart Goblin gives us 1,000 life points. Summons a Sangan, and we will Scapegoat. We have 2, just protect our life points. Cyber-Stein is pretty important to make sure it goes off. What's he gonna hit? Hits Rhoda from our hand. And I think we'll get rid of MST. We draw Metamorphosis. I think we can just end our turn here. I don't want to Metamorphosis and take a Sangan. That doesn't seem too good, especially with the Fusilier. I would love to potentially put a King Dragoon on board. If we draw Blue Eyes or something along those lines, my opponent sets a monster. We'll go ahead and Nobleman across out the monster. Hitting Gravekeeper's Spy. If we Cyber-Stein, we can make Gatling Dragon. That's not too good. We can make Dark Balter. But with 2 back row, that feels pretty committal. But we do have the Scapegoat, Metamorphosis, and Fusilier Dragon. We're going to try for it. Go to 4,000 life points, paying 5, and let's make Dark Balter. He eats 1,000 damage from the Balter over Sangan and 700 from the direct attack of Cyber-Stein. We still have Scapegoat, Fusilier, Meta, Last Will in hand. He Jar of Greeds. Drawing a card. We can negate up to 3 normal spells. He deals a 700 with a direct attack from Dekoichi over Cyber-Stein. We draw another Fusilier. He has a Darkened Grave. If I go for damage, I can potentially summon Fusilier, Metamorphosis into King Dragoon with a Last Will, and that could get us a Mataza, 600 plus 24, 24 plus 26. Do we go for game? I'm gonna make the really risky play and say we do. We're gonna then activate Last Will. Metamorphosis. The best level 7, I think, is King Dragoon. Declare the effect of Last Will. And where's Mataza? The Ring of Destructions. We each take 2,000. Attack for 1,000 over the Dekoichi with King Dragoon. Okay, and then we'll attack for 26. He Book of Moons his Dekoichi, drawing a card. And we'll set the Scapegoat just as more defense. He has 2 darks, no lights, and grave, so any chaos monsters he has are dead unless he drew a light. He MST Scapegoat, that's fine. If he has a big monster, something 2,600 or more, which I don't think he could summon, summons it to Koichi and just beats over Mataza. I'd assume. I suppose I didn't let him actually attack, and he sets 2 back row. We draw Decree. I think the play is going to be set Decree. I was going to set Decree and then not do anything, but he showed me Torrential Tribute, which was dead. I didn't summon a monster. Okay. I think we're going to play... The Decrees just can be so good. I'm just going to run it back. I really like the makeup of this deck. I feel like it has big upside potential. The ceiling is good. If we can just summon a Blue Eyes with a King Dragoon on board, make some Last Will plays happen, I feel like it's got the ability to go off. But I need protection for it to go off. My commenter who left the suggestion wanted Trunades. I think the Decrees play a similar role. Trunades, the deck has so many bricks and so many things, 3 Blue Eyes, 3 Kaiba Man. It can be hard to find the space. He Trap Dust Shoots us. What's he gonna get rid of? Gets rid of Mataza. We will Delinquent Duo right away. Just lead off with that. Hitting that card from his hand. Faith and Knock. We'll summon Breaker. Make it 19. Nobleman across out. Hitting the Spy. Fantastic. I'd rather hit the Spy than the Koichi. Get some darks out of his deck. And we will attack for 19. Ending our turn. So we now have the pluses. He knows our hand. He pot agrees, okay. So now he has the card advantage. We draw Scapegoat. I'll take that draw. Hit him for another 19. Set the Scapegoat. If he has a Snatch Steal that he was waiting to use now, we can just use the Scapegoat, protect our life points. I'm assuming that's a Jar Breed. We draw another Scapegoat. I'm not even gonna bother popping it. You wouldn't set it if it wasn't something that could be chained to the breaker. Alright. If he takes Fusilier, we know that those aren't real back row. He does take the Fusilier. We'll attack for 19. You Book of Moons. A-okay. Not ideal, but is what it is. He MSTs. Well, chain Scapegoats. He Nobleman Crossouts our Breaker the Magical Warrior, setting a back row and ending. We draw Metamorphosis. End our turn. If he summons a big monster, we can just Metamorphosis. We draw Fusilier. $1,400, 1,000, and we'll attack. He Scapegoats himself. We'll obviously get rid of a token. End our turn. Maybe Metamorphosis coming our way. We draw Premature Burial. I wonder if the play would have been Metamorphosis the Fusilier, but then he could chain the Scapegoat if he thought that the last warrior was coming. Also, it would wipe our entire board of our Scapegoat tokens, and I just don't think that would have been the play. We'll get rid of another token. End our turn. So his life points are protected. Mine are also very protected. He does Metamorphosis. Now, does it become 2,800? That I don't actually know about. We draw a Blue Eyes White Dragon, finally. Metamorphosis also kind of works with the Blue Eyes because you can make a Gatling Dragon. We will just, I think, end our turn. No need to suck up his 1,000 dies with 1,000 dies of our own. It would be 0 attack. He Upstart Goblins, gives us 1,000 life points. Pays for that Delinquent Duo that we used earlier. Goes to battle, gets rid of another one of our Scapegoat tokens. I did remove a token. Okay, there we go. Draw Nobleman across out. I think we set Nobleman and end our turn. Just don't want to discard. I hope he sets a monster. He Graceful Charities. He's got a light, no darks engraved. The 1,000 dice represents the dark on board. We have nothing in our grave but a dark on board attached to his 1,000 dice. He discards Regeki Break. and a Tribe Infecting Virus. And just gets rid of another one of our tokens. Summons Tsukiyomi. He attacked, so he can't flip, though. Sets a back row and ends his turn. We draw a Fusilier. We'll lead with Nobleman a Crossout. Get that dark out of here. And I think we go ahead and try to beat over this other token. I think applying pressure to him is the best thing we can do. He Mirror Forces. I'll take a Mirror Force trade. Maybe you could have said I should have last willed. I'm willing to hear that argument, but if I last willed, I just don't think he would have Mirror Forced. And what, we get rid of a token, we trade last will for a token? I just don't think that's good. He finally gets a light. Oh no, he had the light. He needs the dark in his grave, but he gets Thunder Dragon, which he discards to get himself 2 more Thunder Dragons. Sets what is, I imagine, a Tsukiyomi. We draw Exiled Force. We have Fusilier and Grave. I can exile the Last Will, and that would get us Mataza. I could also exile to get Kaiba Man, get Blue Eyes White Dragon. Do we make a really risky play? Think. Or we exiled Last Will, get Cyber-Stein. Cyber-Stein summons the Ryu Senshi, but that's not quite game. But Premature Burial makes it game. Okay, we'll summon Exiled Force. Activate Last Will. Declare and pop the monster. Last Will summons us Cyber-Stein. We pay 5,000 for Ryu Senshi. I knew I was missing a card when I was putting this together. Activate Premature Burial. Get a 2,800. Pay 1,000. And GG's. That was a solid game, solid match. Really, really liked it. Gotta show him the Blue Eyes White Dragon that we had in hand. Mill. Okay, he didn't even want to see the Kaiba Man. He was so distraught that he just lost to a Kaiba Man deck. But we gotta summon a freaking Blue Eyes White Dragon. We can't end a video without summoning a Blue Eyes. Am I right or am I right? You know I'm right. Okay, opponent pick scissors, we pick scissors. We're going to pick rock, and they're going to pick scissors again. We are on a roll today. Big brain me. Just keeping it going. Winning more and more. Opening hand, Decree, Charity, Nobleman a Crossout, Last Will, Metamorphosis, Heavy Storm. We'll go ahead, set the Heavy Storm, and end. Don't want a Graceful Charity quite yet. Summons a Kaiku. That's fine. Smacks us for 1,800. And sets one back row. We draw Cyber-Man. Let us go ahead, activate the Graceful Charity. Drawing Premature Burial, Fusilier Dragon, Rhoda. I think we discard Fusilier and Nobleman. Next we'll activate Heavy Storm. It was a Sakuretsu armor. We'll Premature Burial. Getting Fusilier. Activate Reinforcement of the Army. Getting ourselves probably Mataza the Zapper. Just pushing for damage. Kind of wish we had a Don Zalug in this deck. My favorite card. I think it might be my favorite card in GOAT format. I just think Zalug is so powerful. Hit him for 1,000 plus 26. Set Decree and end. Mataza cannot be Snatch Stolen. He sets a back row and one monster. Ends his turn. We'll flip Royal Decree in the end phase. We draw Breaker. I think what we do here if we Breaker, yeah, we'll summon Breaker. Try to pop this back row. We have Decree, so unless it's a Scapegoat, it was a Ring of Destruction. Then we'll Last Will, Metamorphosis, get rid of the Fusilier for King Dragoon. Declare the effect of Last Will. Special summon. We could go Cyber-Stein, but I think just playing it a little bit safer. Going Exiled, popping the monster, and getting game. Still haven't summoned a Blue Eyes, which is so unfortunate. We haven't even used a Last Will Cyber-Man combo, and that's the whole point of this deck. But the fact that I've won a match against what looked to be Chaos Turbo, then again, he brought in the Scapegoats. I'd imagine they were side-decked, but the Upstart Goblins make me think Turbo. I don't like Upstart Goblins unless it's a Turbo deck. At least Chaos Turbo. I don't know, I just, something about, I know it's deck thinning, but I'd rather run Jar of Greeds. Just not the biggest Upstart Goblin fan. I use it more in a like lockdown deck when you are really looking for judgments and combo pieces and you just need to see those pieces. Then I'll Upstart Goblin. But other than that, I just don't think it's the best course of action. We will Delinquent Duo. Ripping that card from my opponent's hand. Hitting a Chaos Sorcerer. And a Regeki Break. We will then summon Sangan and just try to attack. Dekoichi or Spy? Dekoichi. Okay. End our turn. Excuse me. He tributes for Spell Canceller. Well, we'll eat 800. And I think We gotta go with Cyber-Stein, probably. Or Exiled. I think Exiled, actually. Where is he? Unfortunately, we have now Exiled and Double Last Will, and we won't be able to take advantage of that. Though we have Premature Burial, we will get rid of the Spell Canceller. And unfortunately, I think we'll just have to end our turn there. But if he summons a monster, preferably sets, hitting a Last Will, and I think we'll get Fusilier out of our hand. Maybe Blue Eyes was the better play, but I really want to be able to go for a Kaiba-Man. We get Mataza the Zapper. Let's go ahead. Premature Burial. Special Summoning. Exiled Force. Okay. So, it never even hits the field. Yep, obviously in target. We'll summon Mataza and just try to attack. It's probably going to be a spy. You have Ring of Destructions. We'll eat 1,300. Last Will, I suppose I could have insulated myself a little bit and used Last Will preemptively. But that just feels so bad. We draw Scapegoat. We'll set the Scapegoat. That'll help protect our life points. Where are our Kaiba-Mans? We run 3 Blue Eyes and 3 Kaiba-Man, and we have not once gotten this combination off. He summons a Gravekeeper Spy. We're going to protect our life points. Use Scapegoat tokens. Don't know what this face down could be. Maybe Sinister Serpent. We draw Rhoda. I know we could get the Kaiba-Man. You know what we're going to do? We're going to finally make this play. We're going to activate Last Will. We're going to... I use Prio. Is he going to not know what priority is? Book would have to set Spy, but okay, so yeah, he'll just do it. We will then declare Last Will, get ourselves DD Warrior Lady. We'll try to attack the Gravekeeper Spy. So if you don't realize what went on there, Kaiba-Man summons himself, and then with priority, if you guys don't know priority, you can use an ignition effect. Space Aid's kind of like, most of you I'm sure know, summoning Exiled Force, and before your opponent has a opportunity to book a moon, the Exiled, you use Prio. He flips his own Gravekeeper Spy face down. So we'll attack that Spy with the Blue Eyes White Dragon. But instead of destroying a monster, Kaiba-Man tributes himself to Special Summon Blue Eyes, so he can't chain or use Book of Moon to set Kaiba-Man before I have an opportunity to tribute it. And then we're going to attack the face down with DD Warrior Lady. He pops the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Very unfortunate. Wish we could have had a King Dragoon on the board. Unfortunately, we don't. Obviously, that's okay too. I give him a thumbs up, as if I potentially could have had a Judgment. Don't run him in the side or main of this deck. This isn't looking too good. Obviously, we can get rid of this Spy by taking 500 points of damage and banishing it with a DD Warrior Lady. But maybe not, because he has Tribe Infecting Virus, which he won't use the effect of. He's going to attack it over DD Warrior Lady. Alright, so instead of getting rid of all my tokens and the DD Warrior Lady, he loses the Tribe Infecting Virus over DD Warrior Lady. We draw Snatch Steal, we'll end our turn. I want a bigger monster. I don't want to Snatch Steal a Gravekeeper Spy. That feels so bad. We lose a token from a Gravekeeper Spy attack. We draw Heavy Storm. End our turn. Excuse me. Feeling like I'm getting a little bit sick. I've had a cough that has come in the past few days. Is just lingering enough to annoy me, but not enough to stop me from making videos. My voice sounds okay, at least in my head. I don't feel like I'm too nasally. I'm definitely a little more congested, just a touch more, but it is what it is. Opponent summons Magician of Faith and decides that it's worth it to get 1200 damage. Only darks in the graveyard. It could be a Book of Moon, so we're going to summon Fusilier Dragon. And try to attack the Gravekeeper Spy. I don't want to attack the Magician of Faith because I think this could be a Book of Moon face down. He takes 200. Now, if he wants to get the light in his graveyard this turn, he has to ram the Magician of Faith into the Fusilier Dragon, which I think would be the least optimal play. Probably if changing it to defense is significantly better. He does swap it to defense. We draw Scapegoat. Because of that, do I want to attack? Thinking if I attack. Because it puts the light in his grave. But we now have Scapegoat to protect ourselves. We have darks and lights ourselves. Yeah, we'll attack. I don't know if I would if I didn't draw the Scapegoat, but because we have the Scapegoat, I feel significantly better. He summons a Dekoichi. And then Snatch deals the Fusilier Dragon. We will summon 4 tokens to get run over by his monsters. And now the Heavy Storm becomes even better. We draw Kaiba Man. Standby. We'll gain 1,000. We'll activate Heavy Storm. And do we Snatch Steal ourselves? 28 would put him on a 2-turn clock, but not because of the Snatch Steal. If we just run into it, then we don't have any monsters on board. How many monsters do we have left? Do we have a Fusilier, DD Warrior Lady, 1 Rhoda, BLS, a couple Blue Eyes, which would be good. I'm gonna ram. And we'll end our turn. I think that saving Snatch Steal for a potential Chaos monster is significantly better. He summons a Sangan. We lose a token. We draw Nobleman across out. We'll end our turn. Here comes a Chaos Monster. If it's not BLS, then we don't lose. It's the BLS. And yeah, so he makes the right play and attacks with the BLS. I think we're going to bring in... well, let's not bring in Sakuretsu armors right away. Let's bring in the better traps. I imagine he sided a bunch out, and then he was done siding very, very quickly. The Book of Moons make me think that he sided them out. Ugh! Oh my goodness! Opening up triple Fusilier Dragon, Snatch Steel Nobleman, a Cross-out Torrential Tribute. We'll just set the Torrential and end. What is this hand? I like me some Fusilier Dragons, not 3 in my opening hand. That's awful. Well, at the very least, it means that we have a couple discards. I don't know. I'm assuming that means left. Okay. So Snatch Steel and Fusilier Dragon. Summons Kaiku. We're gonna Torrential Tribute the Kaiku. I just can't have that sitting on the board. He sets a back row of his own. We'll summon a Fusilier Dragon. It's 1000, not 100 defense. And just try to attack. Ending our turn. It is so windy outside right now. Oh my goodness. Opponent sets a monster and ends. We draw Sangan. We will Nobleman a Cross-out. The set monster. It was a Dekoichi. Get rid of those Dekoichis. Alright, we'll summon a Sangan. And we'll just try to swing. Alright, he's at 3,200 life points to our 8,000. We have less card advantage, but we have 2 monsters. And we might have the card advantage now because he set a couple back row and we can Heavy Storm. And if, yeah, GG's. And Blue Eyes was going to be coming later. Wish we had drawn it for game. That would have been sick. I think we have to end it here. I'm 48 minutes in. I don't think we're going to do another match. But I do think this deck is pretty cool. Pretty fun. Is it great? Absolutely not. But it just beat Chaos 2 times in a row. So maybe it's better than I give it credit for. I think the Kaiba Man is pretty cool. Way to trigger the last will. Like a fun way. Not a good way. You know, Rescue Cat's better. Exile Force is better. Tune Cannon Soldier is better. There's a lot of better ways to trigger the last will. But how often are you going to be running Kaiba Man Blue Eyes? And I think that Last Will is just such a powerful card that has been underutilized for so long, and it's finally getting the notoriety that it's deserved. And I love to see that, because being able to, special summon a Mataza, exile DD Warrior Lady, the Cyber-Stein being the biggest thing, like, that's just incredible. Being able to just, out of nowhere, special summon Cyber-Stein, and then special summon with 5,000 life points, whatever fusion you want. Absolutely insane. So let me know what you guys think of this deck in the comments. Let me know what you want me to play in the future. Let me know about the microphone situation. Anything else you want to tell me, you can just tell me about your day. Thank you. Goodbye.